Um, there is something that is happening nowadays that sometimes upsets me. And the moments like this, days like this, is something that gives us hope. So thank you so much for being with us, for being part, and for demonstrating that it is the tradition is here, the tradition is alive. Because I see that many Jewish people sometimes feel uncomfortable revealing to others that they're Jewish today. Some out of fear, others out of shame, but all because of the change that we have been experiencing in the last few years. In the last months, I had several conversations with members of this synagogue about people feeling what can be called in the Jewish closet, suppressing their own identity at work or in other public space, and some sadly losing friends when they reveal that they're Jewish. And at the same time, I know that a record number of Magen David and other Jewish symbols are being sold in the UK. And these two elements are true at the same time. This means that while some Jewish people are scared to be openly Jewish, others have deliberately chosen to use their Jewish identity as a symbol of resistance. I see sometimes people wearing Jewish symbols and kippah on the street with pride who did not do it before. Although most still wear the symbols inside, not showing to the world. So this week's Torah portion expresses, I think, a similar type of inner struggle, or a similar type of this tension about public expression of your personality and something that you feel internally. So I'm talking about this very strange ritual of para aduma, red heifer, a red cow. The ritual itself seems to have been originated in idolatrous practices and very unattractive to the most modern people. But what lies behind it and how rabbis interpreted it is a powerful and meaningful concept. And I'll try to focus on this. So according to the Torah, and later accounts in Talmud as well, the priests had an important job. Apart from their daily service, they had to, or they're supposed to constantly search for a perfect red cow. Have you ever seen a red cow? Neither did I. And they had more than that. It's not enough to be a red cow. This cow had to never wear a yoke or been used for work. Upon finding such a creature, the priest had to slaughter it outside the sanctuary, perform certain rituals, and completely burn it. Its ashes were collected and used for rituals, mainly to purify those who touched a dead body, and allow them, and also a long list of other things that are used to allow them to enter Jewish sacred spaces. So the natural questions come to mind when you read about such a ritual. Why was it important? Why was such a ritual important? And I think that rather than us being a little bit cynical about this ritual, we need to ask the question, what's the core of it? Why was it important enough to write it down, to invent it, and to perform it? And I could never understand it. Until a few years ago, I visited a camp of Ukrainian refugees in Poland, those people who fled from war zones. And when a person goes through an extreme condition, such as war, it's not easy to return to normal life. And more than that, even witnesses of such conditions also need time and something that helps them to return to normal life. And I remember having a very surreal experience, because the day after I returned, I had to go to a wedding. And I felt the disconnect from the wedding. How can I rejoice? How can I enjoy life when these people are there? People who going through such a difficult moment are there. So let's come back to the ritual, because I think this is the core of understanding why this ritual was invented. Some Torah scholars, for example, Sforno or Rabbi Hirsch, interpret this as a highly symbolic ritual, claiming it to be a metaphor and a powerful tool, transforming a person who did something wrong or who accidentally found himself in a difficult situation of trauma into a person who is giving a second chance. Biblical scholar Jacob Milgram sees it slightly differently. He points out that this ritual was mostly performed for people who made mistakes. And some of the mistakes we make are very serious. And he says that acts of serious mistakes or acts of immorality affect more than just those who involved in them. The consequences of wrongdoing, they infect and pollute the entire community. So this ritual is in principle a public demand for cleansing. The person and the community corrupted by war or significant crime, or who has experienced very traumatizing moments, they need to be restored to a state of purity and can then live without the burden of guilt. If the wrongdoing was very significant, asking for forgiveness is not enough. Even repairing the world through apology or restitution is not enough to purify what was spoiled by wrongdoing. The red heifer ritual was almost impossible to perform. Some rabbis say that in 15 centuries, from Moses until the destruction of the Second Temple, only 9 such cows were found in the world, in nature, and used for this ceremony. 9 in 15 centuries, making this ceremony almost impossible to perform. Therefore, creating a very complicated ritual was an act of compassion that would give everybody, even the people who committed the most serious crimes and sins and went through the most traumatic experience in the world, a second chance. Essentially, this ritual allows everybody to re-enter into the sanctuary of the people. At the core of this ritual is the belief that people want and need to be a part of community, a part of the chain of tradition and something bigger than themselves. Denying that part or thinking that it's too late to change hurts not only the person, but community as a whole. Imagine being somebody who thinks it's too late to do or to improve or to recover, or thinking that it is too late for somebody else to recover or to improve or to get better. It involves a very complex mix of heavy feelings. Perhaps this peculiar and almost impossible ritual was necessary to allow this person to feel genuinely accepted and return. It seems to me that people who are scared of showing their Jewishness in public are in some way experiencing not as extreme but a similar position. There is a fear of being misunderstood or attacked, but at the same time guilt of abandoning your people and denying a part of yourself. What can help and encourage such people to re-enter the public space with pride and be publicly Jewish again? The whole atmosphere needs to change, and it is not easy. It will take a long time to find an equivalent of a rare ritual of red heifer that might do it again for us. Meanwhile, while we are still in this environment, I think that Haskalah, Jewish enlightenment, might help us to find an answer to this question. Today, Haskalah is like a red cow, a rare reference in Jewish thought, but nevertheless, it can be a useful and powerful answer to our challenges. I don't think that Maskilim, enlightened Jewish people or early liberal Jews, have ever liked the idea of being visibly Jewish in the wider world. There is a formula: be a Jew at home and human being on the street. Always, this formula always inspired liberal Jews. It's most commonly attributed to Yehuda Leib Gordon, one of the leading poets and intellectuals of Haskalah, Jewish enlightenment, in the 19th century Eastern Europe. The phrase is a paraphrase. This motto or this line is a paraphrase of a line in his poem, Awake My People, where he encourages Jewish people to integrate into broader European society while maintaining their Jewish identity in private. So these are just a few extracts from this poem. Awake, my people, how long will you sleep? The night has passed, the sun shines through. Awake, cast your eyes hither and yon, recognize your time and place. So, raise your head high, stand up straight, look at them with loving eyes. Open your hearts to wisdom and reason, become an enlightened nation, speaking their tongue. Everyone capable of learning should study, laborers and artisans should take to the craft, and strong and brave should be soldiers, farmers should buy fields and plows. To the treasury of the state bring your wealth, bear your share of its riches and bounty, be a man in the streets and a Jew at home, a brother to your countrymen and a servant to your king. Awake, my people, how long will you sleep? The night has passed, the sun shines through. Awake, cast your eyes hither and yon, recognize your time and place. Gordon has encouraged us to be part of the society, contribute to our talents, to common good. Do not close up and only think of the good of other Jewish people. Therefore, people will know you for the good you have done. People know a good person first, and then, if and when they learn you're Jewish, they will respect you for that too. I understand that it doesn't always happen, and sometimes people are too entrenched in their views that they cannot see beyond labels. But nevertheless, the principle remains. Your Judaism must make you a good person. Everybody must be given a chance. If your Judaism is not an influence for good, then there is no point of being Jewish. Members of this synagogue have served in military forces, established many charities and educational institutions, and served in an uncountable number of public roles. This formula is still relevant today, but perhaps today it should sound, I am a good person because I am a good Jew. I am a good Jew because I am a good person. Shabbat Shalom.